value evolves and erodes over time and is contextual. So value for him would be different. Value for me would be different. Value of having this bottle of water over here is different. Value having this bottle over there in the desert is different. So it's contextual. It is in the eyes of the beholder. So that guy sees the value. He sees the value differently, I see the value differently. It's also in the wallet. So how much I can pay for that? According to me, I see a lot of value in driving a Skoda, for example, but I don't have a pocket for that. So I still value that brand, but I can't take it because my pocket doesn't allow. So value is contextual, is in the eyes and in the wallet. So if we move on, this is interesting how we have evolved. Now, earlier we used to be in commodities business. Now I'll take you to this slide. Before taking you to this slide, I'll give you an example. Example is from a real life situation. Now when I was a kid in 70s, we have this annual function. All of us have this annual function called birthdays in our house. And my mom used to bake cake for me. So what she used to do was she used to touch commodities. She used to actually touch commodities. She used to buy milk in 70s. She used to buy eggs. She used to buy cocoa. And she used to actually bake the cake. The cake used to cost us something like 5 rupees to 7 rupees. The whole cake. When in 80s, what she started doing was, if you move on, she started to actually go and buy it from a grocery store, the packets that used to mix everything. So now she didn't used to buy, she stopped buying milk or stopped buying cocoa or stopped buying sugar. She actually bought that packet from the grocery store and baked the cake. The cake cost went up from say 5 rupees or 7 rupees to 15 rupees. Same cake of 5 rupees. Then came a time when we came in 90s, it used to be a service economy. That time, she actually stopped baking cakes. She called up the pastry shops or the those guys, and they used to deliver the cakes. So she used to say, I want this kind of a cake, this is the finish I want. They used to deliver the cake, and the cake now was costing us 60 rupees. In 2000, we had stopped baking the cakes. We had stopped throwing the parties. We outsourced it. So for my daughter, I took her to a McDonald's, for example. And McDonald's did everything over there. So what McDonald's actually did was they created an experience for her. So there were games around, she can play, and there was an experience. For that experience, McDonald's charged us 500 rupees, minus the cake. So the same cake, which was 5 rupees, have actually gone up to around 500 rupees. So similarly, if we look at our economy, we started with commodity business, which was agrarian economy, which was there for around 4 millenniums with us. That agrarian economy actually went ahead and became a goods economy, where price used to be the important point. Imagine yourself, buying it from the shops, price used to be the important point. Earlier, the supply used to be the important point. Then you move to the service economy, where delivery used to be an important point. So quality became important. From there to experience, where authenticity becomes important. Everybody wants authentic experience. This is an experience. Staging it over here, we could have staged it in the office itself. But that was minus an experience. So this is now, you tell me, which business would you guys like to be in? You would like to be in commodity business for oil? You would like to be in goods business? Service business or experience business? I'll give you an example if you move on with, there is a, Asian Paints has this thing, colors. I think someone is from Asian Paints over here. Yeah, they have this colors outlet here. Yeah. So if you actually go there, it's an experience. So you go there and see the experience. Banks, for example. Remember the old banks, the state banks and the government banks that we used to have? Now the banks give you an experience. The hotels, the government hotels that we used to have. And now these hotels is experience. The schools that we used to have. Now the schools, experience. The hospitals that we used to go to. Now the hospitals is experience. say, lubes, what we can do? For example, in paints, as you recall, Asian Paints started this of mixing colors.
Actually, Asian Paints didn't start. Jensen, right? They started it. Asian Paints was one of the last players to come.
Yeah.
They did very, very
But they publicized it all. So, mixing the paints. How do you mix paint and select your own? Now you have something called lube mix, for example, internationally. I don't know if it's there in India, but you have internationally where you can mix. Lube.
Match.
Look at it.
Match.
You match. You have this lube match. So you can actually match according to your car model. That's an experience. So look for opportunities to create experiences in the market too for your vendors. What do you make out of this picture? Does this picture say anything to you? Sorry? Experience for babies. I know it's an experience. People communicate and do business with people. Shell is a good company, fabulous brand, but at the end of the day, your consumers would like to talk to you. They see you as Shell. So you represent your company. When we move on, there's saying that people have changed. Our consumers have changed. I'm saying people because I'm calling consumers as people. Consumers used to be consumers called consumers because they only used to consume or buy. Now actually they do much more than that. They produce also. So consumers are called people nowadays because they are also producers. You actually go onto Facebook and write content. That's producer content. You actually upload your pictures. That's producing content. So people say that consumers have changed a lot. But if you look at it, they have not changed that much. Now if you go on, there's called notion of control. You will hear this a lot. People saying that consumers nowadays want to have more control. Consumers of yesteryears never had this control, right? But if you look at this ad, which was done in 1959, this was for the remote control, the first ad for the remote control. And this ad says, a flash of magic light from across the room. No wires, no cord, turn sets on off and change channels and you remain in your chair. This was in 1959. Consumers that time also wanted to have control. Notion of portability. They say nowadays consumer wants to be, have that thing that they want to take things along with them. So when they moved, the mobile phones had started this. But Sony came out with tummy television. This was again in some 1965. Now tummy television was according to the size of your tummy. So if your tummy is 5-inch, waist size 38 to 46. So 5-inch Sony TV for waist size 38 to 46. For smaller tummy, 4-inch Sony TV. And you can actually hide it under your pillow. So it reminds you of something like an iPad nowadays. So notion of portability was there since 1965. Notion of interactivity. We say nowadays, people have this ads which have Twitter feed. So you can actually go on Twitter and write, for example, this is Jetta, anything for Jetta campaign that happened. So people actually went on Twitter and wrote what they can do for Jetta, to get a Jetta. Now people say it's a novel thing, it's happening now. But this is what Western Electric came up with. And this was what in 1969. So you could see an ad and interact on the phone over there. So notion of control, notion of portability, notion of interactivity, nothing has changed. But what has changed